So welcome back, guys, to We Talk Boxing, and today I'm going to be talking about Daniel Dubois versus Jarrell Miller. So first off, congratulations has to go to Daniel Dubois on his career best performance to date, and what a performance it was. He stopped Jarrell Miller in the 10th round, the final round of the fight. It was a good stoppage from the referee at that point. Jarrell Miller was out on his feet. He was gassed as well, and there was pretty much nothing else coming back from Jarrell Miller. So yeah, it was a good stoppage. But Daniel Dubois, what a performance! He needed this performance because a few of his performances as of late weren't particularly good, and he's already now got two losses on his record as well. So if he would have sustained a loss tonight against Jarrell Miller, then obviously that would have been a third loss on his record, and at 26 wouldn't really look good really because I mean two of his losses have been KO losses as well. One of them was obviously to Joe Joyce, and the other one was to Alexander Usyk as well. So yeah, if he would have lost tonight, then most people would have said that would have been curtains for Daniel Dubois. But seeing how he's obviously come away with a KO victory himself, that has put him instead for bigger fights in 2024. Um, and based on this performance tonight, I feel as if he could potentially handle, probably handle his own, like because he did very well. Jarrell Miller was obviously the bigger man, far heavier. He wasn't as active, but he made Daniel Dubois answer a few questions. He tested his chin, he tested his stamina, and he tested his heart. A few things which most fans were saying, does Daniel Dubois have any of these things? And I felt tonight that he answered these critics quite well. He had to dig deep at times. The fight wasn't all, how can I say it, smelling of roses all the time. Daniel Dubois, he obviously started the fight really well, come out quite sharp. From my point of view, took the first 3 rounds, hands down, no complaints. But then in the fourth and the fifth, there was a little bit of controversy because he sustained some punishment and he was taking some big shots as well. But he somehow managed to stay in the fight and got his second wind, as most people would say. And from round six onwards, put a lot of pressure on Jarrell Miller. And he was starting the rounds 6, 7, 8, and 9 and 10. He was starting these rounds really quick. So he was literally first 30 to 45 seconds letting his hands go, catching Miller with some brilliant shots, uppercuts, hooks, straight rights. And he was hurting Miller. And although Miller wasn't, showing that he was affected by these shots, you could see that he was because he wasn't coming forward as much and his hands were dropping and he was gasping for air. So Daniel was having some success, but Daniel, as I said, what he did was he was starting the rounds quite quick, but at times, every now and again, Miller would come back and he would lean on Daniel Dubois. He would throw a couple of little shots. His jab was pretty decent, and it's quite a weird, unusual jab that Jarrell Miller has because it's kind of like like a straight right followed into a stepping jab, where he kind of flicks it out at the end to get another couple of jabs in, and that was kind of causing Daniel Dubois a little bit of issues. But Daniel obviously somehow pushed through. And as I said, he was the man who was landing the bigger and better shots in my eyes. And it was just a matter of time. And yeah, good stoppage, good performance from Daniel Dubois. And yeah, I'd like to see where he goes next. And there's some good fights in the division for Daniel Dubois now. Obviously, on the same card, you've got people like Caballero, who beat Makhmudov, which was a surprise for most people. So that's an option now for Daniel Dubois and his team. You've got Josie Parker as well, Frank Sanchez. You've obviously got the rematch with Joe Joyce on the cards as well, which will be a good fight at some point. So these are all good fights which I'd like to see Daniel Dubois in with, hopefully at some point over the next 12 to 18 months. But I feel for the short term wise, I wouldn't like to see Daniel Dubois in with the bigger hitters of the division. People like your Anthony Joshua, he's already been in with Usyk, so he ain't gonna get a rematch there for any time soon. I wouldn't like him to go in with a Tyson Fury because he would just get annihilated. He hasn't got the skills. He hasn't got the weight. He's not big enough. He's, you know what I mean. He hasn't got the experience. So Tyson would just destroy him. And even Deontay Wilder at this stage, I know he didn't look good tonight against Josie Parker, but I feel as if you went in with someone like Parker, yes, Daniel Dubois has the better boxing skills, but for me, Deontay Wilder's always got that puncher's chance. So if he catches Daniel, he will hurt him and potentially knock him out. Even though Daniel showed good durability today against someone like a Jarrell Miller, but I'd always still favour, just at this point in time, I still favour Wilder in that fight. So, but it's a fight that I wouldn't want to see Deontay Wilder versus Daniel Dubois. I wouldn't like to see it at this stage in his career, especially seeing how he's got 2 losses on his record. I feel as if he needs to um, go away, get some more experience, and then hopefully once all the big boys have left the division and retired, your AJs, your Wilder, your Usyk, Tyson Fury, then take on more dangerous opposition because you will be one of the main men in the division at that point. But anyway, yeah, brilliant performance, and Daniel's, you know what I mean, he's back in the game, as they would say, and it's quite weird how how 2 or 3 fights down the line kind of changes people's perceptions really of a fighter. Because if you look at Daniel Dubois, 2 losses on his record to date. You've got Josie Parker, 3 losses on his record, come back with a brilliant win tonight. And someone that we're not really thinking about or contemplating about at the minute, Joe Joyce. He's since his loss to Zhang hasn't really been in the media, and you would hope and you would like to think that he's probably been in training and, you know, what I mean, knuckling down and hopefully trying to tweak and change a few things in his game. But he's got what 2 losses on his record. Can he come back and put his name in the hat? Big questions. But as always, guys, let me know your thoughts in regards to today's fight. How did you see the fight? Was you excited and, you know what I mean, about the prospect of this being a real, you know what I mean, a shootout? But it wasn't to be really. And how did you feel about Daniel's performance? What did you feel about Jarrell's performance? Who would you like to see either man fight next? Who would you like to see Miller fight? Who would you like to see Daniel fight? As always, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Please subscribe and comment. Bless.